The moment that crew member walked away, her stiff smile still burned in my mind. "Your son said you'd understand everything once we're out in open water." Out in open water. Why did that sound like a warning instead of reassurance? I stood there on the deck, gripping the one-way ticket in my hand, feeling the ship vibrate beneath my feet as it pushed farther into the ocean. The shoreline was a thin line now, fading, disappearing. And Michael, my son, was nowhere on this ship. Minutes earlier, I believed he was in his cabin, maybe unpacking or grabbing some food. Now, I wasn't even sure he was in the same country. I walked quickly toward the guest services counter, trying to slow my breathing. A young man behind the desk smiled politely. "Hello, sir. How can I help you today?" "I'm trying to locate my son," I said, voice tight. "Michael Hunter. He was supposed to board with me." The man typed something into the computer. "I'm sorry, sir. There's no Michael Hunter on the passenger list." "I know," I snapped, softer than anger, more like fear. "Check again. He booked the trip." He typed again, checked, paused. "Sir, the reservation was booked under your name only." My stomach twisted. "That's not possible," I said. "My son bought the tickets. He told me he made all the arrangements." The staff member's expression didn't change. "All I can tell you is that you are the only listed passenger." He said it gently, but every word felt like a nail in my spine. I stepped away from the counter and pulled out my phone again. No service, not even the ship's internal Wi-Fi. Just a blank signal icon that made my heart beat louder. I searched the entire lobby, the elevators, the dining hall, even the game room. No Michael. I headed back to my cabin. The hallway smelled like lavender and salt water, the kind of scent meant to calm people. But my mind was spiraling too fast. When I entered the cabin, everything looked normal at first. Clean sheets, folded towels, a welcome brochure on the desk. But then, something caught my eye. On the bed was an envelope, my name written neatly across it, not the same handwriting from the earlier envelope. This handwriting I recognized instantly. Michael's. My throat tightened. I sat on the edge of the bed and opened it carefully. Inside was a single sheet of paper. My son's handwriting, rushed, uneven, scared. "Dad, I'm sorry. I'll explain everything soon. Please just enjoy the cruise for now. Don't go looking for anyone. Don't ask questions. You're safer there." "I promise." Michael's safer here? Why would I be safer on a cruise ship? And safer from what? I read it again, my hands trembling. Michael was a lot of things, stubborn, emotional, sometimes reckless, but he had never been cryptic. He didn't do mysteries. He didn't do riddles. If he was writing like this, he was scared of something. I folded the letter and slipped it into my pocket. Then something else happened. A thud. Outside my door, heavy, like someone leaning against it. My heart jumped. I walked over, careful, quiet, and looked through the peephole. A woman stood in the hallway, not a crew member, not a passenger I recognized. She had a clipboard pressed against her chest, like she was pretending to check something. But she wasn't looking at the clipboard. She was looking at my door, right at me. Even through the peephole, her eyes looked cold. I stepped back from the door, my pulse spiking. Another thud, this time lighter. She'd placed something on the ground. A card. Then she walked away. Not fast, not slow, just deliberate. I waited until her steps faded before cracking the door open and grabbing the card. It was blank at first glance, just a plain black card with a silver edge. But when I tilted it toward the light, faint white letters appeared. "Stay in your cabin. Do not attempt to disembark. 8 p.m. We'll speak." My breath caught. We? Who the hell was we? I closed the door and locked it, my mind racing. Michael's letter, a one-way ticket. a mysterious woman watching my cabin, a crew member repeating a message from my son, and now this card, a simple cruise trip, had turned into something else entirely. I sat on the bed, forcing my breathing to slow. The worst part wasn't the fear, it was the confusion. Why would Michael send me somewhere he wasn't coming? Why would he tell me to stay put? Why would strangers on board know something about my son that I didn't? I pulled out the letter again, read it slowly this time, focusing on the small details. Michael had written, "I'll explain everything soon." That meant he wasn't abandoning me. Something was happening. Something he thought this cruise would protect me from. But why a one-way ticket? Why no return date? Just then, the ship's loudspeaker crackled. A calm female voice announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, in approximately 15 minutes, the ship will be entering international waters. All onboard systems will adjust accordingly." International waters. My heart dropped. I wasn't a paranoid man, but I knew enough to understand that once a ship reached international waters, things became legally complicated. Murders at sea, disappearances, crime, cover-ups, everything got murkier beyond the coastline. Was that why I was here? A knock on the door snapped me out of my thoughts. Not the woman from before. This knock was light, hesitant. "Mr. Hunter?" a voice whispered. It's Logan, from housekeeping." I opened the door cautiously. A young man stood there, barely in his 20s, hands shaking as he tightened his uniform collar. "Sir," he whispered, "I wasn't supposed to leave this, but someone told me to give it to you." He handed me another envelope. "Who gave this to you?" I asked. He swallowed hard. "I don't know their names, sir. I've never seen them on staff before. They said if I didn't give it to you, I should stay off this floor tonight." "Why?" He looked around nervously. "Because this ship gets different after dark." Before I could ask more, he stepped back and hurried down the hall. I shut the door fast. The envelope was heavier than the others. Inside was a flash drive. No note, no instructions, just a flash drive. I stared at it, my pulse pounding in my ears. What was on this? Video? Documents? Something Michael wanted me to see? Something someone else didn't? I opened my laptop, plugged it in, and the screen filled instantly with a single video file. Untitled. No dates, no details. Just a grainy thumbnail. I clicked it. The screen flickered. And then my son appeared. Michael, breathing hard, sweat dripping down his face, his eyes red, frantic. He was filming himself with a shaking hand. "Dad," he whispered, "if you're seeing this, something went wrong, and you need to listen to me carefully. Don't trust." The video cut, abruptly, corrupted. My whole body went cold. Don't trust who? The ship? Someone on board? Mr. Harris from back home? Someone closer? Someone dangerous? Someone watching me right now? I stared at the frozen frame of my son's terrified face, realizing this cruise wasn't a vacation. It was a warning, a hiding place, or a trap. And I was right in the center of it. I stared at the frozen video frame of Michael, sweat on his forehead, fear in his eyes, trying to understand what he had been about to say. Don't trust. Then the video cut off, like someone erased the rest. I tried replaying it. Nothing, just static after that point. I leaned back, exhaling shakily. Michael wasn't just warning me, he was terrified. But terrified of who? Or terrified of what? A sudden vibration made me jump. My cabin phone was ringing. Nobody had the number, not even Michael. I hesitated, hand hovering above the receiver. Then I picked it up. "Mr. Hunter," a calm male voice said, "please do not panic. You are safe." "Who is this?" I whispered. "You will meet us soon, but for now, We need you to stay in your cabin." "I'm not staying anywhere until I know what's going on," I snapped. The man paused before speaking again. "Your son placed you on this ship for a reason, a very important reason, one that involves your safety." "My son is in danger," I said, voice trembling. "Where is he?" "He's alive," the man said. "But we cannot guarantee for how long unless you follow instructions." My chest tightened. "What do you want?" "Cooperation, Mr. Hunter. Nothing more." Nothing more. A phrase used by people who wanted everything. The man continued. "At 8 o'clock we will make contact. Until then, please stay in your cabin and do not interact with any passengers or crew." "Why should I listen to you?" "Because Michael trusted us," the voice said, "and because you have no idea who else is on this ship." The line clicked dead. I stood there in silence, the cabin suddenly feeling too small, too quiet, too close to something dangerous. Whoever that was knew Michael, knew me, knew where I was, knew I watched the video, and knew who else might be on board. I placed the phone down slowly. I couldn't sit still anymore. I needed answers. So I grabbed the flash drive again, plugged it back into the laptop, and dug deeper. There were hidden files, ones not visible at first glance. 5 audio files, all unnamed. I put in earbuds and clicked the first one. It was Michael's voice, whispering. "Dad, if you're hearing this, I didn't make it to you. They found me. They're close." My pulse quickened. "Listen carefully," Michael continued. "The cruise wasn't my first choice. I needed to get you somewhere isolated, somewhere they couldn't reach you by land, somewhere you'd be surrounded by witnesses." "Witnesses? On a ship full of strangers?" He took a shaky breath. "There are people after me, and now after you. They think you know something, something you don't. But they won't believe that." He swallowed. "You're safer in open water because there's only one way in and one way out. And I made sure certain people got on board to protect you. But there might be others." I paused the audio. "Certain people got on board to protect me? Who? The woman who left the black card? The man who called the cabin phone? Logan from housekeeping?" I pressed play again. "Dad, the things I'm mixed up in, they're not small, they're not random, and they're not legal." I closed my eyes, feeling my heart break. My mistake didn't start recently. It started 3 years ago. I took a job I shouldn't have. I thought it was security work. It wasn't. Another pause. "I can't say more in case this message gets intercepted, but I need you to trust the people who will contact you at 8. They're not perfect, but they're the only reason I'm still alive." The recording ended. I clicked the second audio file. Static. Then Michael's voice again. "Dad, if they get on board, you need to stay away from anyone wearing a silver pin. That's how they identify each other." I froze. Silver pin. A chill went through my spine as I remembered something. The woman who left the black card had a silver pin on her collar, but she didn't feel like the threat. So how many were here? I opened the third audio. This one was short. "Dad, no matter what happens, don't go to the lower decks. That's where things go wrong." Lower decks, the restricted areas. What did Michael know about them? The fourth audio contained only one sentence. "They'll try to separate you. Don't let anyone lead you anywhere alone." A knock on my cabin door made me drop the laptop. 3 knocks, firm, close, deliberate. I didn't move. Then a voice. "Mr. Hunter, it's Logan again." "Housekeeping boy." I stood up cautiously and approached the door. I didn't open it. "Logan, what do you need?" "Sir, you left something in the corridor earlier. I didn't want someone else to find it." "Find what?" "I didn't leave anything." "No, sir, you did. I have it right here." His voice was anxious, genuine, or maybe that's what he wanted me to hear. "Please just slide it under the door," I said. A pause, then a soft rustling. A small folded piece of paper slid beneath the door. I waited until I heard him leave before picking it up. Inside, written in rushed handwriting, 8 p.m. changed, 7:40, upper deck, alone. My heart hammered. Alone. And 20 minutes earlier. But who left this? Logan? The woman with the card? The man from the phone? Or someone else pretending to help? I checked the hallway through the peephole. Empty. I paced the cabin, my mind racing. Every second felt like it was closing in on me. Then I pulled out the flash drive again. There was one final audio file. I hesitated, then hit play. Michael's voice was quiet, softer than before. "Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't want this for you. I didn't want any of this, but I can't fix it alone anymore." He sniffed, like he was crying. "I put you on that ship because the people trying to protect me said it was the only way to keep you alive." Protect him? So Michael wasn't just running. He was being shielded by a group, against another group, a war I never knew existed. He continued, "If you get this far, then someone on board has reached you. They'll help you find me." Find him. "My last message to you is simple," he whispered. "Trust the ones who find you first, not the ones who find you second." The audio ended. I sat there trembling. Trust the ones who find you first, who found me first. The woman, then the man on the phone, then Logan. Who was coming next, and who wasn't supposed to? I checked the time. 7:15 p.m., 25 minutes until the meeting, or an ambush. I stood up, grabbed Michael's letter, the black card, and the flash drive. Then froze. A soft click came from the hallway. Footsteps. Slow. Steady. More than one person. They stopped right outside my cabin. Then someone tried the handle. My blood ran cold. The lock held. A man's voice said quietly, "He's inside." Another voice replied, "Good, he won't be leaving." My whole body tensed. They were here. And they weren't the ones Michael trusted. I backed away from the door, pulse racing as the handle turned again. Harder this time. And someone whispered, "Time to get him." The door handle jerked again, harder, more impatient, like whoever was outside didn't care whether they broke the lock or broke me. I backed away until I hit the dresser, my heartbeat pounding so violently I could hear it in my ears. Another voice spoke from the hallway, deep, calm, too calm. "Try the override key." An override key. My stomach twisted. Cruise crew had master keys, real staff. But these people weren't staff. I grabbed the chair beside the desk, wedged it under the doorknob, and braced for impact. A faint metallic click sounded from the other side. Then a long pause. Click, then another. They were trying different tools. Then a soft beep. My blood froze. The electronic lock. They were overriding it. The door clicked once, twice. Then a quiet voice whispered right outside the door, "Open it slow." I reached for the window even though I knew I was 10 floors up, too far to jump, too dangerous to climb. But staying wasn't an option. My hands trembled as I searched for anything that could be used as a weapon. A lamp? A coat hanger? A glass bottle? Then I heard the final click. The lock released. Someone pushed. The chair under the knob strained, scraping harshly against the floor, but held for now. "Move it," a voice hissed. I watched the doorknob twist again and again. Any second, it would snap. I grabbed the one thing that made sense, the heavy metal kettle sitting on the cabin's coffee tray, and held it up like a club. The doorknob twisted again. Then the hinges groaned. They were forcing it open. Before I could panic further, a sound cut through the tension, not from the hallway, from the ceiling vent. A whisper. "Ray, Move back. Now. Not Michael's voice. Not the man who called earlier. A new voice, female, urgent. I stumbled backward just as the vent cover popped open and a hand reached down. "Grab my arm," she whispered. "Hurry." "Who are you?" I whispered back. "Someone your son trusted." The chair under the door groaned violently. The lock beeped again. They almost had it. I didn't have time to question. I didn't have time to hesitate. I grabbed her arm. She pulled with shocking strength, dragging me into the narrow vent shaft just as the door smashed inward. The chair shot across the room. Boots thundered inside. "He's gone." "Search the bathroom." "No, check the window." The woman slid the vent cover back into place silently. We were inches above them. I held my breath as flashlights scanned the room below. "Find him. We can't let him reach Deck 8. "Deck 8? What was on Deck 8? The woman began crawling through the vent shaft, her movements fast but controlled. "Follow me," she whispered, quietly. I crawled after her, my knees scraping metal, my breath shaky. "Who were they?" I whispered. "The wrong ones," she said. "The ones Michael told you not to trust." "So you're one of the right ones?" She didn't answer immediately. "I'm one of the first ones who found you. That's what your son said, right? Trust the ones who find you first." A tremor ran through me. The woman who left the black card? That had been her. She kept crawling until we reached a vertical shaft. She swung her legs down, climbed expertly, and motioned for me to follow. When we reached a small maintenance hatch, she whispered, "We're safe for a moment." I dropped into a dark utility closet. She slipped down after me and shut the hatch. She was dressed like a crew member, but I could tell instantly she wasn't real staff. Her eyes were sharp, trained, alert. She pulled a small flashlight from her pocket, shining it on her face. "Name's Kara," she said. "Your son sent me." I tried to speak, but only managed. "Is Michael alive?" "Yes, barely, but if we don't move fast, he won't stay that way." My legs nearly buckled. "Why did he put me on this ship?" "Because he had no place left to hide you. The group hunting him would have reached you on land. Here, on the water, we have more control." "More control?" I said shakily. "We were almost captured." She smirked bitterly. "That wasn't us. They boarded right before we left port. We didn't expect them to move that quickly." "So who are they?" Her face darkened. "They call themselves Horizon Line." The name echoed in my chest like a drum. "I've never heard of them," I said. "You weren't supposed to," Kara replied. "They operate off the grid. Private clients, no paper trail. They train, recruit, manipulate, and dispose of people for contracts." "Contract work?" I whispered. "Like mercenaries?" "Worse," she said. "Much worse?" "And Michael?" I whispered, throat tightening. "How is he connected?" Kara leaned closer. "Your son was recruited when he was 22. He thought he'd signed up for private security. Horizon Line saw potential in him. Intelligence, physical skill, morality they could twist." My stomach dropped. "He didn't join them," I said. "He wouldn't." "He didn't know what they were," Kara said quietly. "Not until he was trapped. By then, he'd seen too much. And Horizon Line doesn't let assets walk away." I sat down slowly, feeling the world tilt. "Why would he risk coming back into our lives?" I whispered. Kara looked at me, her eyes softer now. "Because he found something they want back, something that could destroy the whole organization, and he hid it somewhere." My breath hitched. "The flash drive?" "No," Kara said. "That was just a message. What he stole is physical. And Horizon Line thinks you have it." "Me?" I whispered, horrified. She nodded. "They're convinced Michael hid it with you. That's why they're hunting you." "But I don't have anything," I said. Kara studied me. "Are you absolutely sure?" I tried to think. Everything seemed normal. I didn't keep valuables. I didn't collect documents. Nothing stood out. Then suddenly, a memory. A simple cardboard box in my basement. One I hadn't opened in years. Inside it, papers from Michael's old jobs, things he dropped off after moving out. At the time, I thought it was junk. But what if it wasn't? Kara saw my expression shift. "You just remembered something?" she said firmly. "What is it?" I might have something at home. Papers, a box, but I never looked through it." Kara inhaled sharply. "That could be it." "But we're trapped on a cruise ship," I said. "How do we get back home?" She smirked faintly. "We don't need to get home. We just need to keep the wrong people from getting to you first." The floor beneath us vibrated slightly. The intercom crackled above us. A calm voice spoke. "Attention passengers, we are now fully in international waters. Evening festivities will begin shortly on Deck 7. Kara started gathering equipment from a duffel bag hidden in the closet. I asked, "What happens at 7:40? That message said—" "That message wasn't from us," she said sharply. "You were lured into an ambush." My blood ran cold. "So what happens now?" Kara handed me a small earpiece. "We meet at the real scheduled time." My hands shook. "And what time is that?" Kara's eyes locked onto mine. "Exactly midnight." A chill swept down my back. "And who am I meeting at midnight?" I whispered. She exhaled deeply. "The only person who can take you to your son." The hours leading up to midnight felt like days. Kara kept us moving the entire time, never staying in one place more than a minute, always checking corners, vents, staircases. She knew this ship better than the people who built it. But every shadow felt dangerous. Every passenger walking by felt like they were watching me too closely. Every crew member's silver pin glinted like a silent warning. Michael's words echoed in my head. "Don't trust the ones who find you second." Kara had found me first. Whoever was at my door tried to find me second. That meant Kara and her team were the right ones. But still, trust on this ship felt razor thin. When the intercom announced, 11:50 p.m., all upper decks will close in 10 minutes due to wind conditions, Kara glanced at me. "It's almost time." We slipped out of the utility hallway and into a staff corridor lit by flickering lights. The ocean outside roared against the hull, louder with each minute we approached open sea. "Where are we going?" I whispered. Kara motioned upward. "The observation deck. It's high, exposed, and hard to ambush, perfect for a private meet." My stomach knotted. "And the person we're meeting, who is it?" She didn't answer at first. Then finally, "You'll recognize them." Recognize them? That could have meant anything. A friend of Michael's? Someone from his past? Someone he trusted before he disappeared? My pulse quickened. We climbed the last staircase and Kara peeked through the metal doorway. Wind blasted through the crack, whipping her hair back. "It's clear," she whispered. We stepped onto the dark observation deck, the highest platform on the ship. The wind was fierce, carrying cold saltwater spray that stung my eyes. The deck was empty. Kara checked the shadows. "We're early," she said quietly. I moved to the railing and gripped it with both hands, staring out at the endless black ocean. Nothing but water. No land. No lights. Just a ship full of secrets cutting through darkness. I closed my eyes for a moment. "Michael," I whispered, "why did you drag me into this?" A voice behind me answered, "Because he had no one else left." I spun. Someone stood at the far end of the deck, backlit by a faint emergency light. Tall, wearing a hooded jacket, shoulders tight, posture familiar. My heart jumped. The figure stepped closer. The hood lowered. I froze. It wasn't Michael. It was a woman, older than Kara, eyes fierce, tired, sharp. Kara straightened. "You're late." The woman ignored her and looked at me, and when she spoke again, my entire chest went numb. "I'm Anna," she said softly. "Michael's mother." My knees nearly gave out. That name, that face, that voice, the mother of my son, my ex-wife, the woman who left us almost 20 years ago. "Anna," I whispered, stunned. "You're alive?" She smiled faintly. "I could ask you the same thing." Kara stepped back, giving us space. Everything inside me twisted. I hadn't seen Anna since she walked out on us, on Michael, claiming she needed to start fresh. She never came back. She never called. She never tried, or so I thought. She stepped closer, her expression tight with guilt and exhaustion. "I didn't walk away from you," she said. "I was running from the same people hunting Michael now." I stared at her, unable to breathe. She continued. "Horizon Line wasn't new. They were there 20 years ago. They tried to recruit me. I refused." Her voice cracked. "So they came after our son instead." My entire body went cold. "Michael was just a kid," I whispered. "And that's why I ran," she said. "To keep them from using me, to get to him." I staggered backward. "Kara," I whispered, "did you know about this?" Kara nodded once. "Your son didn't want you to know until we were safe." Safe. The word felt meaningless now. Anna stepped closer, hands trembling. "I've been fighting them from the shadows for years," she said, "trying to keep Michael off their radar, but they got to him anyway." I felt my chest tighten painfully. "Then why didn't you come home?" I demanded. Her eyes softened. "Because coming home would have put you and Michael in danger years earlier. And once I realized Horizon Line was collapsing, I thought maybe it was safe to return." She swallowed hard. "But then, your son was taken." I closed my eyes, fighting back tears. Michael wasn't the only one who had been trapped. Anna had lived in fear, too. Anna stepped beside me, resting her hand lightly on the railing. "Michael escaped with something big, something Horizon Line needs back, something that could expose the entire network. That's why they're after him." "And what is it?" I whispered. She shook her head. "I don't know. He didn't trust sending details. But whatever it is, he hid it with someone he trusted completely." "Me?" I asked. Anna nodded. "Yes, you." I looked down. Fighting the weight of everything, the file in my basement, the papers Michael left years ago, the box I never opened, whatever was inside. Michael risked his life to keep it hidden. Before I could speak again, Kara's expression suddenly hardened. "Someone's coming." We all froze. Kara reached into her jacket and pulled out a small flashlight with a red filter, barely visible, but enough for her eyes. She scanned the deck. No one, but the wind carried something faint, a metallic clank. Another step. Anna backed up, pulling me behind her. Then a silhouette appeared at the far stairwell. A man, tall, muscular, wearing a dark jacket. He stepped onto the deck with slow, confident steps. Kara whispered, "That's not one of ours." The man stepped under the emergency light, and I recognized him instantly. The man who tried to break down my cabin door. He smiled when he saw us. "There you are," he said calmly. "Mr. Hunter, we've been looking everywhere for you." Kara moved in front of me, stance tense. Anna stepped to my other side. The man raised his hand slightly. "No need for hostility. I'm here to offer safety." Kara scoffed. "That's funny. You weren't offering safety when you tried to smash down his door." The man smiled wider. "That was a misunderstanding." Then he looked straight at me. "Mr. Hunter, your son is with us." My breath caught. "He's safe," the man continued. "If you come with me now, I'll take you to him." Anna's grip tightened painfully on my arm. Kara leaned toward my ear. "Don't move," she whispered. "Not 1 inch." The man extended his hand. "Your son wants to see you." Every part of me wanted to run to him. But then the man added, "He said you have something he left for you." My stomach dropped. Michael would never say that. Not to Horizon Line. Kara stepped forward. "If he has Michael," she whispered, "he'd know the code phrase." The man stiffened. Kara spoke louder. "Then tell us the last thing Michael said." The man's expression flickered, only for a second, but it was enough. He didn't know. He didn't even pretend to know. His smile faded. He reached behind his back. Kara shoved me sideways. "Move!" The man lunged. I stumbled. The deck tilted, and someone grabbed my arm. Not Kara, not Anna, someone else. A voice whispered, "Ray, run!" The hand gripping my arm yanked me so hard I nearly fell. But the voice that whispered, "Ray, run!" stopped my heart cold. I knew that voice. I hadn't heard it in years, but it lived in my bones. I turned, and everything inside me shattered. Michael? It was him, my son, wet hair sticking to his forehead, eyes sunken, clothes torn, breathing ragged, but alive. God, he was alive. He didn't give me time to speak. He grabbed my arm harder. "Dad, move!" We sprinted toward the far staircase as the Horizon Line enforcer lunged after us. Behind us, Kara shouted, "Go, go! We'll catch up!" Anna's voice echoed, "Get him out of here!" Michael shoved open a maintenance door and pulled me inside just as the man's hand reached the railing, grabbing nothing but air. The door slammed shut. We were in darkness. Then Michael flicked on a small red emergency flashlight. His face glowed in the faint light. Older, thinner, harder, but the same eyes I raised. I grabbed his shoulders. "Michael, what, where, how?" "No time," he said. "Horizon Line is on board in numbers. They figured out the midnight meeting." He leaned closer, eyes burning with fear. "They're after what I gave you." I shook my head. "I don't have anything." "Yes, you do," he whispered. "You've had it for years." I stared at him, heart pounding. "You mean the box of papers in the basement?" Michael nodded. "There's something inside that they'll kill for." "What is it?" I asked. He took a slow breath. "A list." "A list?" "A list," he repeated. "Of every major client Horizon Line has ever taken contracts from. Judges, CEOs, politicians, billionaires, criminal networks, people who pay for disappearances, people who pay for ruined lives, people who built whole empires on the things Horizon Line did." My skin went cold. "And you stole it?" Michael nodded. "It popped up on our servers by accident one night. Someone unauthorized uploaded it. I printed it before they could delete it. They never knew. I hid it inside old paperwork and dropped it off at home the same day." My knees nearly buckled. "All this time," I whispered. "I had it in my house." "That box," he said, "is the only proof of Horizon Line's real clients. You could take the organization down. That's why you're a target." He grabbed my shirt. "Dad, if they capture you, they win. They get that list. Everything collapses. Every person they hurt, it becomes permanent." I felt sick. "How many are after us?" "Enough," he said. "They boarded in small teams, more than we expected." The hallway vibrated suddenly, heavy footsteps. Michael pushed me deeper into the shadows. "They're sweeping this deck," he whispered. We slipped through a narrow service tunnel, lined with pipes and metal grating. Water dripped from above as the ship rolled under the waves. I couldn't stop staring at him as we crawled. "Michael, I thought you were dead." He breathed shakily. "I thought I would be too. But Kara found me. Anna found me. Mom never stopped trying to protect us." "Anna," I whispered. "She's alive. She's here." "Yes," he said. She and Kara have been working together. They're part of a breakaway group from Horizon Line, people who want to end the organization. We reached a hatch. Michael cracked it open. Clear. We slipped into another utility corridor. Once we reached the engine levels, Michael said, there's an emergency craft used by the engineers for inspections. It's fast, hard to detect. Strong enough to get us back to shore. And Kara and Anna? They'll meet us there if we're lucky. We moved fast. Every turn felt like a dead end. Every creak sounded like a trap. Michael suddenly pulled me behind a boiler. Hide. 2 Horizon operatives walked through the corridor. One spoke. He was seen near Deck 9, the kids with him. We should have taken the old man when we had the chance. No, the boss wants him alive. He knows where the list is. Their footsteps faded. Michael exhaled. Come on. We reached the lower decks, shaking, echoing, humming with machinery. The air smelled like metal and fuel. The emergency craft, a small enclosed lifeboat, was docked against the hull, latched and ready. Michael's face broke into relief. There, we're almost, a voice cut him off. Well? The Horizon enforcer stepped from behind a cargo container, gun raised, smile cold. You're both very predictable. Michael shoved me behind him. Don't, Michael warned. You don't want to do this. Oh, but I do, the man said. You two have caused too much trouble. Give me the location of the list, and maybe I'll let one of you walk away. Michael whispered, Dad, don't say anything. I stepped forward anyway. Listen to me. I don't have the list here. It's not on the ship. The man nodded mockingly. Oh, I know. It's at your house, but I need the exact place before my team arrives there. My chest tightened. They were going to my home, my safe place, my entire world. The enforcer stepped closer. Now, the place. Tell me. Don't, Michael whispered, but the enforcer never got his answer. A metal pipe slammed into the back of his head. He dropped instantly. Kara stood behind him, breathless, holding the pipe. Move, she shouted. Get in the craft. She grabbed Michael. Anna appeared next, limping, bruised, but alive. Ray, inside, now! We all climbed into the emergency craft. Kara smashed the release latch. The lifeboat detached. The ship's hull slid away as we hit the water with a violent splash. Michael sealed the hatch. Kara powered the engine. We shot forward into the darkness of the open sea. For the first time in hours, I could breathe. Anna leaned back, exhausted. Kara checked her radio. Michael grabbed my hand. Dad, we made it. For a long time, I didn't trust my voice. I just held on to him, the boy I raised, the man he'd become, the son I thought I'd lost. Finally, I whispered, We're going home. Anna nodded faintly. But this isn't over, she said. Horizon Line will keep coming until that list is exposed. Michael looked at me. Dad, are you ready for this? I squeezed his hand. I've been ready since the moment you boarded this ship. The emergency craft sped through the night toward shore, toward the box waiting in my basement, toward the fight we didn't choose, but one we had no choice but to finish.